Hello and welcome to the Instant Impact Diversity Hub. Recruitment is one of the biggest areas to drive diversity in your business. Without hiring new talent, it's going to be difficult to affect change. Instant Impact are internal recruitment experts, and we implement a three-part methodology to drive diversity for all our clients. These three parts consist of influencing internally, attracting a diverse pool of candidates, and ensuring that your selection process offers equal opportunities to all candidates. You cannot have a truly diversity-centric recruitment process without all three working in harmony. This video, the third in our series, after the introduction that Felix gave to our methodology and the overview that Sophie gave on influencing internally, will focus on the second step, how to attract a diverse pool of candidates. There are 6 ways to attract diverse talent that I'd like to explore. As a first step, you need to lay the foundations for a successful campaign. You have to remove the barriers. Think about, is that really a requirement? A Hewlett-Packard report that has frequently quoted and the subject of a Harvard Business Review found that men apply for a job when they meet only 60% of the qualifications, but women only apply if they meet 100% of them. So the first big question to ask yourselves and your hiring managers is that really a requirement? Do you really need that professional qualification? And do you have to have X years of experience? It's our job as internal recruiters to ask why and make sure that requirements only make it onto the job advert when they're exactly that, requirements. Focus on the skills that you're looking for and why it's important for the role. This could be a bit of a leap for hiring managers, so consider preferred or beneficial experience as a first step. Another barrier to consider is having the right to work in the UK. If you're a visa sponsorship employer, this will help you to attract a wider pool of candidates, but being accommodating to their logistical needs. Whilst not all companies, especially smaller startups, can afford to do this, if your company does have the facilities, it should consider removing right to work as a potential barrier for candidates. Once you're happy with the substance, you need to focus on the language. There is strong evidence that certain words influence the likelihood of people from different genders applying, so you need to make sure that your language isn't unintentionally putting certain candidates off. At Instant Impact, we put our job descriptions through a gender decoder to neutralize them and ensure that they are suited to both genders. For example, with one of our clients recently, we have been doing technical recruitment, which tends to be male dominated. So we ran the job descriptions through the gender decoder to neutralize them. Once you've put your job description together in the right way, you need to define and execute your advertising strategy. For that, we'd like to start with your job board strategy. If your current selection of job boards aren't bringing you a diverse pool of high quality hires, it's time to reassess which job boards you use. We use a broad range of job boards as we can within our clients' budget constraints. This not only means that the job can be seen by a wider range of candidates, but using the more generalist job boards like LinkedIn, Indeed, and Monster can help you attract candidates from other, potentially more diverse industries. We'd also recommend looking at diversity-centric boards like Vasida that attract 30% more diverse candidates and provide useful tips to improve. Only 21.6% of our survey use these specialist job boards to drive applications, so it could be an interesting area to get ahead of the competition. My last tip on job boards is to use data and follow the results. Analyze the success of your application sources, not just in terms of hires, but also in terms of diversity and volume of applications. Experiment, adapt the advert if it's not working, and particularly focus on the job title, as that is highly influential as to who clicks more on it. And job boards are far from the only attraction channel that we use. Only 1 in 10 companies do it, but working with partners supporting minority or disadvantaged groups can be a brilliant way to get your company in front of diverse candidates. There are lots of great organizations out there if you look hard enough. Universities, schools, apprenticeship training partners, professional groups like Women in Finance or Coding Black Females, and charities like the Amos Bursary, where our chairman is a repeat mentor. It's important to note that when partnering with organizations like these, you need to consider what you can give as well as what you can take. It can't just be a box ticking exercise. We'd also recommend actively headhunting. Not only will it open up to a pool of candidates that aren't actively job seeking and massively reduce your reliance on recruitment agencies if you're a high performing internal recruitment function, but it can also have a positive influence on diversity. Make sure to encourage your internal recruitment team to try to present a diverse panel of candidates for each vacancy. You can also consider requiring them to do so by implementing the Rooney Rule, but more on that later on. Regardless, you need to make sure that any headhunting you do is proactively diverse, rather than headhunting exclusively from groups that are underrepresented talent pools for your business. That way you can avoid employment law traps and the world of positive discrimination. Another way to headhunt is to actively attend events. For one of my clients who were hiring a technical graduate cohort to promote female engagement, I attended a Women in Tech event. Networking in this way can be a powerful tool for headhunting. Of course, in the current circumstances, this can be more difficult, but there are alternative options such as webinars. We know that this is an area that many companies are concerned about, so we'll be putting together more resources on that topic. We'd also suggest focusing on your early career program if you hire at that level. We found that these programs can be so powerful in establishing the roots of diversity in an organization. And if you look at the statistics, it's not surprising why. Shocking fact is that in the UK, only 9.7% of executive positions are filled by women, compared to 57% of students at university. And there's a similar proportion of women, 50.1%, that are starting apprenticeships. Only 6% of top managerial positions are filled by BAME employees, compared to 20% of students who identify as BAME and 12.3% starting apprenticeships. With a such diverse talent pool, early careers hiring can be a fantastic place to start. And given that it can be a large proportion of your company's annual hiring, it's also a great way to make a big difference quickly. The final point I'd like to make is on employer branding. Your employer brand is the element that ties your diverse attraction strategy together. It's the window that you provide potential employees into your business, what you do and what you believe in, and it can be really influential in determining which candidates apply and which don't feel welcome. It's not a case of just making sure that the stock images on your website are diverse, and if you try to fake it, your existing employees will catch you out. So make sure that your employer brand is reflective of what you're doing as an organization as a whole. Creating an inclusive employer brand to reflect and celebrate all of the work that you're doing to be an inclusive organization creates a virtuous cycle. More candidates will find you through your social media and other activity. Those that do will be more likely to apply because they'll like what they see. When people join the company, they'll feel more welcome, making your company a more diverse and inclusive place to work, and making them more likely to refer their contacts to and also to come and work there, which in turn will make it easier to hire and retain more diverse employees. Be proud of what you're doing in this area and shout about it online. Whether they're the first steps or part of a long-term diversity strategy, you'll be amazed with the results. So those are the 6 areas that Instant Impact focuses on for advising on attracting diverse talent. We ran through how to remove barriers and make sure that your requirements really are requirements, how to have a diverse job board strategy, the different types of partners that you can work with, how to have a proactively diverse headhunting without falling into employment law traps, the benefits that a high quality early careers program can have for diversity, and the virtuous cycle that employer branding can provide. If you haven't already, we recommend that you now review the other 2 core components of the Instant Impact methodology for driving diversity through recruitment: influencing internally and selections. If you have any questions or feedback, or if there's anything that we can help you with at Instant Impact, please get in touch. Thanks for watching this video on attracting a diverse pool of candidates. We hope that you'll have taken away a few key points from it that will help your business to become more diverse and more inclusive.